Jack Black. The man who's simultaneously the funniest, most chaotic, and sometimes downright controversial guy in Hollywood. From his messy, cringe-worthy early career to his unpredictable moments on stage, Jack has mastered the art of turning every situation into an unforgettable spectacle. Buckle up, because it's time to dive into everything wrong with Jack Black. Sorry to interrupt, but Jack Black told me subscribing is the most rock and roll thing you can do today. Thanks. The early days of Jack's career. 1995, when Jack Black was just a scrappy nobody. He auditioned for a minor role on The X-Files, during its glory days in season 3. Instead of wowing anyone, he tripped over a chair, butchered his lines, and performed a spectacular faceplant in front of the casting crew. Jack, ever the self-aware legend, confessed on Late Night with Conan O'Brien that Mulder would have shot me as an alien. Yeah, buddy, we get it. The guy who thought he was auditioning for a quirky informant ended up bombing so hard, it was like watching a clown try to operate a spaceship. To add insult to injury that year, while Waterworld sunk in theaters, Jack was in a soggy sketch on Mr. Show, slipping on a puddle and screaming about being Kevin Costner's stunt double. Nice. A chaotic start, Jack? You bet. Kathy Griffin's gross bath mat reveal. In an exclusive and not-so-great revelation, Kathy Griffin spilled the beans on Jack Black's horrendous 90s hygiene. Apparently, at some point, Jack asked her to dry off with his filthy bath mat.
Get off on the bath mat. I said, I need a shower towel. And he goes, you're standing on it.
Because, why not? That's the kind of rock star move that gets the ladies swooning. Not only is this a clear breach of basic human decency, but it perfectly encapsulates the I'm too cool for clean towels era of Jack Black's life. Kathy made sure to let the world know about Jack's gross habits, and well, let's just say it definitely didn't make him the poster child for good hygiene. Here's to hoping he's upgraded from the bath mat to a towel by now. The painful Trump joke. Oh, where do we even begin with this disaster? July 2024. Tenacious D hits the stage, and Jack Black is right there laughing it up as Kyle Gass casually drops an assassination joke about Donald Trump.
Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time.
Yep, you heard that right. What could go wrong? Everything. The fallout. Epic. The tour was canceled faster than you can say PR nightmare.
All remaining dates of Jack Black and Tenacious D's tour have been canceled after controversial comment made by bandmate Kyle Gass in Australia.
And Jack, ever the smooth operator, decided to bail on his longtime friend Kyle. Because when you joke about assassinating a sitting president, it's not just a joke. It's a career killer. Sure, it was supposed to be edgy satire, but the only thing that got killed was the vibe, the tour, and Jack's credibility. Tenacious D in 2024? Yeah, more like Tenacious Disaster. Personal circus during lockdown. Well, it turns out Jack Black was way too excited for quarantine. From 2020 to 2023, Jack turned the pandemic into his personal circus. First, he kicked off with a TikTok in March 2020, shirtless, in cowboy boots and gym shorts, flailing around like a sugar-high toddler on a sugar rush. Who needs music when you've got Jack Black's flawless moves? But that was just the beginning. By November 2020, he was twerking in a red Speedo to WAP, soaked by a hose, looking like he had just stepped off a set of a low-budget music video. The internet went wild, with some fans calling it the laugh we needed, while others begged for him to put a shirt on. As if that wasn't enough, he then turned into a superhero in American flag Speedos, smashing bricks with his vaccinated shield. Genius or desperate cry for attention? You decide. Jablinski Games. Let's talk about Jablinski Games, Jack Black's big YouTube debut that was supposed to take the world by storm.
This is my new YouTube channel, Jablinski.
In December 2018, Jack teased us with a glorious promise. Bigger than Ninja, bigger than PewDiePie. He dropped 1 million subscribers in a week. Not bad, huh? But then came the gaming video where Jack and his son Sammy hit the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. And it was a retro dream. Fans went wild, and Newsweek even applauded their father-son chemistry. And then, what happened? Bam! Jack pivoted harder than a seasoned politician. Videos like No Gaming This Week quickly followed, featuring him vlogging about orthodontist visits and playing ancient board games. Where's the gaming Jack? Fans were roasting him online, calling it a bait and switch. But Jack, ever the chaotic force, shrugged it off with his sorry, not sorry attitude. Nacho Libre backlash. Let's rewind to 2006. Jack Black's Nacho Libre hit the big screen, and apparently so did a wave of backlash. Jack, in his now iconic role as a Mexican wrestler, came under fire for, shall we say, culturally questionable choices. The movie was accused of cashing in on Latino culture, reducing it to a goofy caricature. Critics pointed out that his portrayal was a stereotype at best, a lazy marketing tool at worst. But hey, in Jack's defense, he was really committed to the role. So committed, in fact, that you almost forget the film's cringy moments as you're distracted by his ridiculous mustache and that wild energy. Still, the movie couldn't escape the criticism that it misrepresented a culture for the sake of comedy. Would it be too much to ask for a little more substance behind all that cheese and nacho sauce next time? Jack Black's beachside Kung Fu Panda moment. So, on January 19th, 2025, Jack Black decided to channel his Kung Fu Panda spirit while on a Gold Coast beach in Queensland, Australia. Beachside martial arts performance? Definitely not. As a tabloid photographer zoomed in, Jack, rocking his Tenacious D Satan board shorts and a tie-dye shirt, turned into a one-man action movie. High kicks, fake punches, and dramatic pow-wham sound effects. The result? The photographer, likely feeling like a total goof, captured the whole thing on Google Glass. And by the next day, Jack's impromptu beach fight video had racked up 5.2 million views on X. Fans praised it. Bro has the Dragon Warrior spirit. But when the photographer casually mentioned, "You know I'm recording, right?"
You know I'm recording.
Jack instantly froze, panicked, and bolted shirtless into the surf. Was this a hilarious flex of his Kung Fu Panda legacy, or a desperate attempt to salvage his image? Critics had opinions, with some calling it peak Jack Black and others, well, not so impressed. Tropic Thunder chaos. Have you seen Tropic Thunder? Well, this movie that somehow managed to offend almost everyone in 2008. And guess who was right in the middle of the chaos? Yep, it's Mr. Jack Black. His character, Jeff Portnoy, a drug-addled comedian obsessed with fart jokes, was part of the film's wild satire. But unfortunately, it didn't stop there. The movie's most controversial role came from Robert Downey Jr.'s blackface performance, which set off a firestorm of criticism for trivializing black identity. But guess what? Jack's over-the-top, crude antics didn't help things. The character's reliance on stereotypes had critics calling him out for complicity in the movie's racial jokes. Jack defended it as satire, claiming it was punching up at Hollywood. But the backlash didn't care. Some fans hailed it as genius, while others slammed Jack as complicit in racist crap. To add more fuel to the fire, behind the scenes, things were even messier. Reports from the Thailand set revealed that Jack's on-set antics, like improvising fart noises and wrestling crew members for laughs, were making everyone's lives miserable. Ben Stiller reportedly snapped, "Jack, we're burning daylight," which was a diplomatic way of saying, "Stop being a disruption." Tenacious D's explicit lyrics. In 1999, Tenacious D's explicit lyrics were not family-friendly. Take the track F Her Gently, a raunchy mock romantic ballad that pushed boundaries with lines like, "I'm gonna hump you sweetly and gonna screw you nice and slow." Naturally, it got banned from radio by Clear Channel, but Jack Black wasn't exactly mourning the loss. He was too busy flipping the bird to censorship and boasting about how censorship's for squares. Tenacious D's raw, unfiltered humor was like a red flag to parents, religious groups, and radio stations. Critics called it juvenile shock humor, but Jack was perfectly fine with it. Because why not indulge in some vulgar fun when you're the rock star comedian who doesn't care? His band was now a lightning rod for controversy, with some calling it genius satire, and others decrying it as a bad influence. But for Jack, this was just another day at the office. Israel-Palestine stance sparks backlash. Jack Black's usually carefree, comedic persona took a hit in 2023 when he posted a politically charged comment about the Israel-Palestine conflict. While Jack condemned Hamas's attacks on Israel, he notably sidestepped any mention of Israel's actions, which left fans divided. Was Jack's statement a neutral call for peace, or a politically cowardly stance that tried to keep him out of the conflict's deeper, more complex issues? Pro-Palestinian fans, disappointed by his tepid take, called him out for being spineless and wishy-washy. Even Tenacious D fans got involved, slamming Jack for not taking a clear stance. Was this a rebellious rocker chickening out when the spotlight was on him? Critics argued that Jack, usually the guy who mocks authority, had become just another cautious celebrity trying to avoid taking a stand. His wishy-washy political move sparked outrage, and fans were left asking, "Where's the rebellion, Jack?" The junk food enabler? Remember the School of Rock? Of course you do. It's that beloved movie where Jack Black plays Dewey Finn, a rock-loving slacker turned music teacher. While we all loved his enthusiasm, there's a little problem. Dewey might have been the ultimate junk food enabler. Jack's role in the film had him constantly chowing down on pizza, chips, and soda, leading to accusations that he was promoting unhealthy eating habits. Critics didn't hold back, calling out the glorification of junk food in a role meant for younger audiences. It wasn't exactly the best endorsement for nutrition. Did we need Dewey's pizza obsession to be front and center? Apparently, it was the cool thing for a teacher to do. But it also reinforced the idea that snacks were the answer to everything. So, while we were busy rocking out, we might have been taking away some seriously questionable eating advice. Hot dog, anyone? Substance abuse. Jack Black's life has been anything but a straight path to stardom. Starting at age 14, he was deep into the world of white powder, a consequence of the chaos that followed his parents' divorce. Hanging out with rough characters and dealing with the fear of one wanting to end him, Jack stole money from his mom just to feed his addiction. Fun times, right? A stint at a troubled youth school called Poseidon eventually led him to therapy. And though he cried his eyes out and found some direction, the wild party life didn't just disappear. In the 80s and 90s, he dabbled in illegal substances, fueling a blur of ridiculous and idiotic partying. It's no surprise that in 2008, he was still working through his demons while filming a movie. After marrying Tanya Hayden and becoming a father, Jack claimed to have cleaned up, but his occasional celebratory J still keeps us guessing. Body shaming or satire? Shallow Hal, a movie that made audiences squirm in their seats for all the wrong reasons. Jack Black starred in the 2001 film where he plays a man who sees only inner beauty, thanks to a hypnotic suggestion. The problem? Well, the film quickly became a lightning rod for criticism for its portrayal of fat shaming and superficial beauty standards. Instead of celebrating diversity, the film leaned heavily into the idea that larger women were ugly before Hal could see their true beauty. Critics and viewers alike didn't hold back, accusing the movie of perpetuating harmful stereotypes and mocking people's physical appearances. While the film tried to deliver a message about inner beauty, it came across as a poor excuse for making fun of those who didn't fit the typical Hollywood mold. Jack Black, of course, didn't set out to offend anyone, but the backlash was impossible to ignore. For a film that was meant to teach acceptance, it sure missed the mark. Have you seen Shallow Hal? Let me know down below. Underwear serenade? Jack Black, always the life of the party, even when it's a Hollywood fundraiser. In October 2023, Jack decided to take the stage at the I've Back Euler Spectacular fundraiser, hosted at LA's Orpheum Theater, and turned it into his personal one-man show. How? By stripping down to rainbow boxers, high-kicking, and belting out Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero like his life depended on it. And, of course, he didn't even bother to stick to the lyrics. Instead, we got Jack Black's signature gibberish, ba-da-ba-ba, leaving fans torn between "this is iconic" and "please Jack, stop." And the cherry on top? He did this after his stand-up set, which, by the way, had already been a stretch. A true masterclass in unhinged spectacle, Jack's 2023 shenanigans will either be remembered as a bold performance or an oh no moment. Jack Black's boozy stage dive. So it's 2006, and Tenacious D is riding the high of the pick of destiny. At a sweaty gig at LA's Troubadour, Jack Black mid-set goes full rock star. Leaping off a speaker stack, arms wide, ready to dive into the sea of hands below him. But plot twist! The crowd parts like the Red Sea. Jack goes down hard, splatting on the floor. Does he panic? Nope. He pops up, laughs, and casually finishes the song with blood trickling down his face, saying, "I meant to do that." If there's ever been a moment that sums up Jack's chaotic energy, this was it. Fans had mixed reactions on X. Some hailed it as legendary, while others saw it as a boozy disaster. Either way, it's a fall from grace that only Jack could pull off, and it probably would have been funnier if he'd stuck the landing. And there you have it. Despite all the chaos, weird moments, and goofy dances and questionable decisions, we still love Jack Black for his unapologetic energy and infectious humor. What do you think of Jack Black? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.